Well, actually, nuclear energy, that would be Mr. Allen from Georgia.
Thank you, Chairman Duncan and Chairman Johnson, for holding this joint subcommittee hearing today to discuss the importance of unleashing our domestic energy production, securing our electric infrastructure, and domestic supply chains. This is critical in delivering lower energy costs to Americans and becoming energy dominant. I can't stress enough the importance of having an all-of-the-above energy strategy, which we've talked about over and over again here today, and ensuring our supply chains are secure. Yesterday, I hosted my first telephone town hall with thousands of constituents on the line for the 118th Congress. The most questions I got were about, what are you going to do about energy and the cost of energy? How can we become energy dominant again? I remember those days when we actually set the price of a barrel of oil. That was real power, Mr. Congressman. My constituents and Americans across the nation are spending money they don't have on energy. Should it be at the pump or trying to heat and cool their homes? The key to affordability and reliability is a diverse energy portfolio and removing regulatory barriers that hinder access to our natural resources right here in the United States. The free market is key in setting the price for energy. Mr. McNamee, you mentioned in your testimony how subsidized renewables are distorting price formation in regional transmission organizations, which is having a negative impact on important energy sectors like nuclear and coal, and in turn the reliability of the grid. Commercial nuclear energy is critical to my district as it is home to Plant Vogtle and currently under construction are Units 3 and 4, which are scheduled to come online later this year. Nuclear energy is reliable and affordable and emission-free. Are there ways we can ensure subsidized renewables are not undermining the market so that the coal and nuclear business do not become obsolete? And how does this degrade reliability?
Thank you, Congressman. The primary challenge in the so-called RTOs, which are in 7 parts of the country, is that they try to use market forces in order to achieve the cheapest energy resource for electricity. The problem is once you have subsidized resources like renewables that have no fuel costs, that show up intermittently, they have tax credits, they undermine the way price formation works. And the price formation is for every basically 5 minutes of the day during the load curve, generators bid in to see if they can meet the load, and the last generator that's picked sets the price that everybody's paid. So that means if you're wind or solar, you're paid the same price as the natural gas producer or the nuclear producer. And what has happened is when you have these intermittent resources coming on and off, they're taking up market share, they're driving a little bit of the marginal price of energy down, but they're undermining the ability of baseload like nuclear to be able to make the money to stay operating. And this has become a big crisis in a lot of parts of the country where you see electricity prices spiking, but reliability going down. In Georgia, one of the things is it still has the traditional vertically regulated, and you mentioned that planning the resources, it's exactly what utilities do. They do integrated resource plannings. They decide what units that are needed to meet the power 24/7, 365 days a year, whether it's cold or whether it's hot. And they also, the price of energy is averaged. So customers are getting the economic benefits of all the resources.
Right, and that might explain why we have 2 battery plants that are scheduled to come online as well in Georgia. One just announced and one is under construction for batteries for the electric vehicles that are going to power the future, because we have the most efficient, most abundant supply of electricity in the country. Thank you for the answer to that question. Nuclear energy, as I said, is critical to our national security. So I would like to now enter into the record 2 letters, one from the Nuclear Energy Institute, another from the United States Nuclear Industry Council, which both express support for the committee's work to establish a secure nuclear energy fuel supply chain.
Without objections, order.
And now, Ms. Sweeney, and we're going to run out of time, but we've talked about the permitting problem in the mineral supply chains. Can you submit in writing to me. What I'm hearing is workforce problems. And maybe you can comment on another question later about the workforce problems we're having throughout the energy sector. Thank you, and I yield back.